From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. A Palestinian man who led protests against the war in Gaza as a student at Columbia University was arrested Monday at a Vermont immigration office, where he expected to be interviewed about finalizing his U.S. citizenship, attorney said. Mohsen Madawa, a legal permanent resident who has held a green card since 2015, was detained at the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services Office in Colchester by Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents, his lawyers said. The attorney said they do not know where he is. They filed a petition in federal court seeking an order barring the government from removing him from the state or country. The Trump administration detained Mohsen Madawi, in direct retaliation for his advocacy on behalf of Palestinians and because of his identity as a Palestinian. His detention is an attempt to silence those who speak out against the atrocities in Gaza. It is also unconstitutional, attorney Luna Druby said in an email. According to the court filing, Madawi was born in a refugee camp in the West Bank and moved to the United States in 2014. He recently completed coursework at Columbia and was expected to graduate in May before beginning a master's degree program there in the fall. In other news, Harvard refuses to back down. The federal government says it's freezing more than $2.2 billion in grants and $60 million in contracts to Harvard University after the institution said it would defy the Trump administration's demands to limit activism on campus. The hold on Harvard's funding marks the seventh time President Donald Trump's administration has taken the step at one of the nation's most elite colleges in an attempt to force compliance with Trump's political agenda. 6 of the 7 schools are in the Ivy League. It sets the stage for a showdown between the federal government and America's oldest and wealthiest university. With an endowment of more than $50 billion, Harvard is perhaps the best positioned university to push back on the administration's pressure campaign. In a letter to Harvard Friday, Trump's administration had called for broad government and leadership reforms at the university, as well as changes to its admissions policies. It also demanded the university audit views of diversity on campus and stop recognizing some student clubs. The federal government said almost $9 billion in grants and contracts in total were at risk if Harvard did not comply. On Monday, Harvard President Alan Garber said the university would not bend to the government's demands. The university will not surrender its independence or relinquish its constitutional rights, Garber said in a letter to the Harvard community. No government, regardless of which party is in power, should dictate what private universities can teach, whom they can admit and hire, and which areas of study and inquiry they can pursue. Hours later, the government froze billions in Harvard's federal funding. We close out this newscast with this story from the LGBT Center of Central PA. The LGBT Center of Central PA hopes that upcoming activities will help bring the community together. The center recently announced its spring slate of events, which includes opportunities to learn, network, and have fun. Spending time in community is as important as it ever has been, and we're excited to open our doors to all, said LGBT Center Executive Director Amber Roadcap. Events include the Keystone Business Alliance Mixer tomorrow from 6 to 8 p.m., Third in the Berg Open House, April 18th, 6 to 8 p.m., the commemoration of Pennsylvania Governor Milton J. Schaap on April 23rd at noon, and Hats, Heels, and Hooves, a Kentucky Derby Day fundraiser on May 3rd starting at 4 p.m. The LGBT Center also holds regularly occurring events each week through programs like Aging with Pride, Common Roads, Glow, Passageways, and more. For more information about these events, visit their website, www.centralpalgbtcenter.org. We'll have that posted on the Pennsylvania Equality Project website as well. That's the news at this hour. We encourage you to download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. And now back to more music on PEP Radio.